So I just graduated from Howard University in May.
It's you?
You know? And I graduated broadcast journalism degree, and instead of transitioning into a full-time career after graduation, I decided to travel the African continent. So I just basically sort of kind of picked up, I guess, freelance videographer, editor, just from networking and meeting people and working with small businesses, creating video content, just kind of having my hands kind of in everything, working on a short film documentary, just out here hustling, living, meeting people.
How long have you been out there?
I got here August 2nd, 2019, this year. Yeah,
Okay.
August 2nd.
And
So,
what has been the biggest difference for you in terms of just going from Howard University, where you were studying broadcast and living in the nation's capital, to now traveling all over the continent?
I think the biggest difference for me has been adjusting to how much my life has slowed down. Being a full-time college student, working 2-3 jobs.
Wow.
It's been hustle for 3 years for me. And so it was really hard to adjust to how slow my life had become. That was really the hardest, besides, the time difference. Other than that, it was really just that for me.
Now, you say you've been going back and forth around different countries. I'm assuming that you're staying in Ghana. But what other countries?
Ghana's like home.
Ghana's home,
Home base.
Which is dope. That's the best home. Ain't no better home in Africa, I promise you.
And I agree. I totally agree.
So what other countries have you visited?
I went to Kenya, stayed there for a month. I recently came back from Benin and Togo, and that was very interesting. And then I'll be going to Nigeria next month.
Oh, wow. That's exciting. Yeah. What part of Nigeria?
Yeah. Lagos.
Yeah, we knew you weren't going to Lagos. We were just asking.
Yeah, definitely going to the capital. Do you have?
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Annalisa.
No, I was just saying, we really wanted to talk to you specifically about the year of the return, and being that you're in Ghana, we also have Afrochella coming up next month. How does it feel to be back in a year that a lot of people are returning, and it's just such a big time for Africa?
It's lovely. I don't really have I've been wanting to come to Ghana for about maybe like 3 years now. And so it's kind of a dream come true for me to actually be here. I was on the continent in South Africa last year, 2018. So to come to West Africa and to really explore, and then knowing that it is a year of return, it's been beautiful. It's been a beautiful journey. So far, I've been unlearning and learning a lot of things, especially in Benin and Togo. And there's been this whole thing with, African spirituality and kind of, I guess I would say decolonizing my mind a lot on how media has taught me about Africa, or what media has taught me about Africa and her people. So it's been a beautiful journey.
What's the biggest thing you've had to unpack?
If I'm honest,
be honest.
Currently, my views on Christianity and my views on learning about voodoo after being in Benin and
Togo.
That's been
learning that juju. Hold up, she's learning that juju. Hold up.
I'm being that's been the biggest thing the last week or so. Because when you go to the slave dungeons in Ghana, and then Elmina and Cape Coast, and then you go to in Togo, there's a house of slaves or slave house, and then in Benin there's they have a door of return there as well. And then they also had the what they call a Portuguese museum, which is really like a slave market, basically, where they held enslaved. But in each one of those, there's a church right in the middle. Right in the middle of those slave dungeons. And so it was just kind of mind-boggling for me to actually see it with my own eyes. I always knew that, Christianity used to enslave Africans, but to actually kind of be there was just was just crazy. And then to learn about voodoo in Benin would kind of help me kind of like lessen my fear of it, because it's been demonized, it's been dehumanized, and it's something that I think a lot of people don't really have an open mind to understanding. But that's been the biggest thing so far that I've had to unpack for real, and still unpacking. I'm still processing.
Okay, that's so deep. I mean, I would never think of that. For people who are interested in coming back, especially to Ghana, what are the top 5 places that they have to visit?
Have to visit. I would definitely say the slave dungeon, so Cape Coast and Elmina. I would say Cancun National Park. That was really fun. Another place, I would say there's this bomb Jamaican and Ghanaian food spot called Jamrock in East Sudan.
Oh, you know what? I'm all about it.
I've seen Jamrock before, and I've never gone because I'm like, why is this here?
The jerk chicken is not like, it ain't like for real jerk chicken, but it's bomb. Like it's good. It's good.
Okay.
Oh, I have to check it out.
Okay, so do you have any like? Are you from America? Like, as far as your ancestry's background, like, are you from America?
Yep, California, born and raised.
California,
what part?
LA?
What part?
San Francisco.
So, I'm sorry, my bad. She was like, don't ever associate me with them.
Entertainment.
Everyone always assumes LA. It's like, yo, there's other parts of Cali, man. Stop it.
I mean, most Sacramento, San Fran. I mean, I'm just saying. Most people I meet here in DC be like, oh, I came from LA. If they say they're from California, so we just jump to LA first.
Yeah, nah.
No disrespect. I'm not trying to put you in Hollywood.
You know what? Now that you brought that up, I'm just curious. What's the dating scene like in Ghana versus like a San Francisco?
Oh, wow. I would have never thought to ask that. Yikes. Here we go.
Dating scene. I haven't dived into it, to be honest.
Look at you. I'm proud of you.
But that doesn't mean they haven't tried to dive into you, though. Right?
That's very true. That's very true.
They tried to dive into you. I'm hip. I got cousins.
I'm trying to get to the States. What green card do you have?
Facts.
Exactly.
Once they hear that American accent, it's time to run game. Like, how can I
Absolutely. And that's really what it's been. But it's kind of like the same pickup line, to be honest, which is like, can I be your? And it's like, bro, what? Like.
But if you came with some jollof, if you came with the bull jollof, and be like jollof queen, you probably be down though, right?
Hey, yo, I mean, if you want to take me out for some food, absolutely. But I'm always down for fufu and some goat meat and soup and all.
I'm speaking old Mark language.
Hey, right listen, I'm trying to tell y'all, she hip now, man. She's hip. She knows what's going on.
But I've been hip. When I was in DC, I used to go to Apio a lot.
I've actually never been to because look, my parents are from Ghana. I was born in America, but I've been raised on their food like my whole life. So whenever I want food, I just go home.
Got you right. What a lucky guy, because I don't have that. I had to go to Apio to get my plantain and jollof fixed.
Okay, so now that you're over there, like, I'm not gonna say what would you prefer, because I'm pretty sure you still prefer like America's home or whatever. But do you?
Nah.
Huh? Wait,
no.
What? No.
Are you asking what? Are you asking what I prefer America to come back to America over staying in Ghana?
I'm saying, like, right now, like, could you see? I was gonna ask, would you see yourself staying in Ghana or Africa long term? But
yeah.
Go ahead. Ask your question. Answer your own question. What was your question?
Would you I can definitely see. Huh? I can definitely see myself staying on the continent, period. I don't have a huge desire to come back to America. The only reason why I'm coming back is because of my family, if I'm honest. Like, I done seen just with how much, just how beautiful it is, for one. And then for two, I've seen like what my family's friend, they own just 20 acres of what they Kenya, they call it a shamba, which is like a farm or village or whatever. And 20 acres of like watermelon and plantain and a fish pond and, you know, I don't know, herbs and just everything. Same thing I've seen in Ghana. And I'm like, yo, I'm not even trying to go back to America. I'm not interested. The land, I mean, the people, the culture, I'm a part of the majority. There's a lot of opportunities, like more opportunities than I think people realize, especially in media industry. Just it's a dope place to me. It's beautiful.
I low key, I'm scared to talk trash to you since you said you into voodoo now, because I feel like
I'm not into it. No, I'm not even. Nah, not at all. Not at all.
That's funny.
But I did correct him and tell him I'm not interested in necessarily dabbling in anything. It's just me. It's
I'm judging.
Not wanting to be afraid of it any longer. Like trying to actually, because I feel like the people who who do believe in voodoo or who practice it or whatever, they've been demonized and dehumanized. And I'm like, that's not something that I want to contribute to any longer, you know? So
when you're going to start doing your first 419 scheme?
My
he
first
is
what?
such a hater. I mean, it's just such. I don't think that comes with voodoo. Okay,
I don't even know what that is. What did you say?
Oh, you don't know what a 419 scheme is?
419.
All these scams.
Oh, that's what that Nigerian scam. I'm a prince. Send me money, and I'm a.
Wow. See, okay. So this scam thing is for real, huh?
Oh, it's for real.
Apparently.
Is it West Africa or is it just Nigerians? I know Nigerians got a bad rap.
419 is all Nigeria. 419 is their area code, I believe. So that's
okay.
That's
okay.
You're in a good spot. You good. You're in a safe spot. You're in a safe spot.
Kamilah,
okay.
This is your first time. Like, is this your first time traveling the continent?
I was in South Africa, Mozambique, and Swaziland, which I think they actually changed their country's name. But I went to those 3 countries last year on a study abroad trip. So that was my first time last year. And
So I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, and this is just my first time being back by myself.
Wow. So you are a U.S. citizen?
Yes,
okay.
U.S. citizen.
And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
Well, I'll be 27 tomorrow.
Oh, wow. I'm so nosy. It comes with
no,
the
you're good.
right?
You good.
Okay. So do you feel like as a young woman, especially a U.S. citizen, going back, having a chance to experience the motherland, is this eye-opening? And if so, in what ways?
Definitely eye-opening. I think it's eye-opening in a way where I'm seeing things for myself. I'm not, learning through media. I'm not learning, and when I say media, I mean mainstream white media of what, with the hungry pot-bellied children and, got flies on their head and things that I would see like late night BET or some stuff like that when I was younger. It's not, I think it's helping me to break stereotypes, as well as bringing balance to oftentimes one-sided views that are shown about the continent of Africa. So it's been eye-opening in so many ways.
Now, a lot of the things that you just described are kind of like, it sounds like you've been to a lot of the developed cities, but have you gone to any cities that aren't like developed cities? And what would you say, how would you compare those to the depictions that you've seen on TV in America?
The developed areas in Ghana specifically?
The underdeveloped areas. Because, like Kumasi and Accra are like the 2 biggest cities in Ghana.
Right.
And they have similar structure to America, but then there's other cities out there that aren't as developed. Like, how would you compare that to what you thought of?
Well, they're definitely not huts, I'll tell you that. It's comparing them to what I've seen or what I've been taught in America, right? Is that what you're asking?
Right, correct.
Right, okay. Well, yeah, they're definitely not in these little hut things that I was, have always assumed. It's still heartbreaking to see because although they're not necessarily huts, they're shacks still. Like, I mean, they're living in metal. Yeah, it's their shacks. So it's but they're so content. It's there. It seems like there's so much joy in these villages. There's so much happiness. You see kids running around. It just seems like they're so content to me. Not saying that they don't want, nicer things per se, but they just seem so content and happy. They're so blessed. I don't know. Yeah.
And when you told your mom and dad that you're doing this, what did they say about all of this? You're graduating from Howard University, get your bachelor's degree, and you are going to Africa to travel. What did they say?
I hope
they were, and what's crazy is I didn't even have a blueprint. They're like, so where are you going? Oh no, I'm just going.
Wait, time out. You didn't know about the video production group you're with in Ghana now before you went to Ghana? You just went on a whim?
No. Yeah, no. So I didn't know about that. No, I'm not even with the video production group. I'm just freelancing. I was just got a gig to be a videographer for a group of African Americans.
Oh,
you're the best, man.
So,
what inspired the trip? What inspired the trip to Ghana?
You say what?
What inspired the move to Ghana then?
I just always wanted to come. I've always wanted to come to Ghana, at least for the last 3 years. And so being how stressful my life was in DC, it was stressful and full of anxiety. I didn't want to transition into a full-time career I needed a break. I needed time to kind of regain focus, to really figure out what I wanted. Because I didn't necessarily want to go into news anymore. But I know I love telling stories, and I know I love Black people around the world. And so I was like, all right, well, this is the perfect time. I don't have to be back anywhere. I don't have to, my semesters are over. I don't have to go back to another semester of school. So this is the perfect time to actually travel. And so, I needed a break. Basically, that's really what inspired my move here, I guess. I haven't necessarily moved here. I'm going back home in January. But I just wanted to travel. So, but to answer your question,
I want to know what your parents
say.
I
at first, I remember sending a group text to my family, and I'm like, I bought my one way because it was a one-way ticket. I bought my one-way ticket to Ghana.
Oh, girl, you are beyond brave.
Very.
Well, only because here's the thing. I feel like there's been confirmation after confirmation, that I'm supposed to be here. And so when I was looking at tickets in January, they were one-way tickets for $600-$700.
Oh,
I saw the ticket went down to $386.
Wait, what?
Hold on, where do you buy your tickets?
Yeah, where did you get this ticket?
Exactly. I was on Mamundo.com or something. I received an alert that said that ticket prices were down.
With Mamundo.
Was the flight not sketchy? Was the flight sketchy?
Nah. So Mamundo was like Skyscanner or Google Flights or whatever. So they help find cheap flights. So I flew with TAP. I guess it's was it Portugal Air or something like that? So the flight wasn't sketchy, but I got a one-way ticket and I'm like, oh, I have to take advantage of this. And got it, sent it to my family, and they kind of already know how I get down. I traveled by myself in 2015 up and down the East Coast before I had eventually went to Howard. But my grandmother, they're all just, they were like, okay, so what's the blueprint? What's the move? Where are you going to stay? Where are you going to live? Where are you going to eat? What are you going to do? And so although I didn't have the blueprint, I think they're just kind of used to it by now. I'm kind of the black sheep of the family, and the fearless brave one, I guess.
Well,
so
hold up, wait. Paint the picture of your childhood. I'm trying to visualize your entire storyline right now. So, your mom, you live with a mom and dad?
So no,
okay.
Put a whole story out there, Annalisa. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm trying to understand.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm trying to understand.
Well, I was my mother's only child for 18 years.
Okay.
I was born and raised to teenage parents.
Okay.
I'm the oldest of now my mom has 2 other children. She's now married with a 6 and 8-year-old.
Oh.
My father, I'm the oldest of 10. So I've I don't know. I grew up with, being that I was born to teenage parents, I grew up with my mom and my grandparents.
Gotcha.
I don't know what else to say.
So for the most part, would you say they are as curious as you are about the world and traveling? Were they as curious?
I feel like somebody in my family was. They just didn't have the balls to do it. So I probably shouldn't have said ball. So you're gonna have the guts to do it.
It's fine. It's internet radio.
People have said worse. I just want to know if you're gonna play this for your family when you said they ain't got balls. So go ahead.
they know it's love. It's love. It's love. But I mean, I'm the only one who went to college outside of California. Everyone else has been either didn't go to college or they stayed in California. So a lot of my family hasn't even traveled, to be honest. A lot of my family, actually, no one has even left the country.
Wow.
So it's, I feel like there's people in my family, maybe my mom, who have wanted to, but due to circumstances or fear or whatever, they just didn't. And so I feel like I'm kind of trailblazing a whole new path, a whole new way of life, I guess. I don't know.
Thanks
So
for
yeah,
painting that picture. So obviously you're just clearly in your own mind space, and you're just able to be brave enough to do these things without any type of anyone paving this path. So I mean, I think that's pretty impressive. That's really cool.
It's been quite the adventure. It's been super fun though, and super freeing, and it's really taught me to really trust myself even more. I'm really big on following my heart and really following my passion, and that's what's really brought me to the place I am now, even in Ghana, because I have so many opportunities that are presenting itself to me. I feel like I've changed kind of my career path, and with having no idea what the heck I'm doing, but just following my passion, and things are just kind of, doors are just opening, and it's been crazy. It's really been crazy.
I'm sorry if I feel if I seem kind of detached from the conversation, because I was on Momondo looking for. I was like, where the hell?
On that too.
$300.
Hey, yo,
I've never heard of this Momondo, but we about to find out.
I could have found a flight under $800. Actually, it was both round trip. I was like, yo, like what is
No,
this
it was
Momondo?
one way, 386, one way.
Yo,
and I'm still just kind of,
that was all God.
Right, that was God saying it's time for you to go.
Yeah. No, seriously. Like when I say I've had different confirmations of like, yo, you're supposed to be here, that was one of them. And just different people just like, how can I give into what you're doing? And I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing, but okay. So it's, yeah.
Kamilah, oh my God, you need a blog. I need to read about this stuff. I need to
put my whole story out.
Yeah, first of all, this Momondo tip is impressive. I mean, we didn't even know about this.
I was letting y'all talk. I was like, Ghana, January. What about February?
Yeah, you won't find that now. I hope my friend, he got what I think was like a under 1,200 round trip from DC to from DC to Ghana.
That's what I'm looking for, around 900 myself for February. But we've been wrapping you up for a minute. So before we let you go, I'm gonna give you like 5 rapid fire questions, and you answer them as quickly as you can. That cool?
All right.
Okay. Favorite food over there in the West? Not even in Ghana, in Africa. What's the best thing you've eaten so far?
Best thing I've eaten, red.
What is that? We need her to explain.
So red is basically it's plantain and peas, but they're like black eyed peas, kind of like soupy, but not really.
Oh, is that called red?
Red. Come on, now.
I just called it plantain and black eyed peas. My mom used to make that for me all the time. I didn't know that was called red.
Yeah, red.
Okay.
Come on now.
Don't come for me like that. Don't do that. You just got there. Calm down. Favorite mode of transportation?
Yo, I've been on this life, bro. I've been about it.
Favorite mode of transportation?
Mode of transportation, Uber.
What? They got Uber over in Ghana?
Yeah, they got Uber.
See.
I talked about it on the podcast. Wow.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes. And I'm not messing with the Trocho. I'm like, I can't do that. I'm not doing it.
So I took a Trocho my first time in Ghana to this pool hall, and I told my mom how I got there. She said, "You did what?"
Yeah, nope, won't catch me on one. Packed in there like sardines, yo. I'm like, I'm cool.
She gave me so much money to take a taxi from here on out. It was a bless. Favorite thing to do on your off time?
My off time, favorite thing to do. Social media.
Camila.
Okay.
Man.
Wow.
Well, I mean, like,
I'll get you dating over
okay,
there.
Not the
that's
beach.
horrible. That's horrible. Let me see. My favorite thing to do on my off time, I would say, I guess, walk around the neighborhoods. I mean, out here, like that's
Okay.
usually what I do. Is kind of walk around neighborhoods and talk to people. Typically, go shopping.
Biggest inconvenience.
Biggest inconvenience in Ghana.
And yeah.
When electricity goes out, I can't rock with that.
I want to say for me, when I went the first time, I went in during the NBA Finals, and they showed one quarter, instead of showing the whole game, they showed one quarter at a time. Mm-hmm. So I was watching like Boston versus the Heat for one quarter, then they go to another show, and then I have to like figure out when the second quarter was going to air on TV so I could watch the second quarter later. It was wild. I was really upset.
What? Yeah.
I got one more rapid fire question. Biggest recommendation for people listening?
Yes.
Feel the fear and do it anyway.
Aww.
That's kind of been my life's motto. Follow your passion.
That's a deep one.
Follow your passion. Don't let nothing, even if it doesn't make sense, even if you don't have the blueprint and you don't know what the heck is going on, just follow your heart, follow your passion. Biggest recommendation.
Where can people find you and follow you so they can get some tips?
Well, Easy Adventurous Cam is my my IG. I'm on Twitter, but I don't use it. I just made it for class, so I should probably actually use it. It's still Adventurous Cam. I actually do have a blog, adventurouscam.com, and I also have a YouTube channel, which I haven't put much content on there yet, but content is coming soon, as soon as I finish editing videos for other people. So, yes, everything is Adventurous Cam, KAM, Adventurous Cam.
Oh man, we love talking to you. There's so much I wanted to ask you that we probably will chat about offline. But
okay,
I have one more question.
What's up?
Ghanaian jollof or Nigerian jollof?
Oh God, Jesus.
Ghanaian.
What? You clearly haven't had that Nigerian jollof yet. You're going next month. You're going next month.
No, my roommate was from Nigeria, and I have a lot of friends from Nigeria.
And you don't like
the just don't.
No, she has better taste buds than you.
And actually, my friend here, she's half Nigerian, half Ghanaian, and she chooses Ghanaian.
Of course,
she chooses Ghanaian. So it's.
I had a coworker who was the same thing, half Nigerian, half Ghanaian.
And what is it that you like about the Ghanaian jollof versus the Nigerian jollof?
It tastes like food, and the other one tastes like trash.
My business. I'm asking Kamilah.
I think it's the rice. I don't know if it's the rice or if it's they don't put a lot of stuff in it. I don't know. I like
the fact that they put more tomato sauce or whatever the sauce is in the Nigerian jollof.
She had burnt jollof anyway. She don't know good. She had burnt Niger jollof one time, and now she thinks she like Niger jollof. Anyway, Kamilah, thank you very much for coming through. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm hoping that everyone is inspired by your story. It was so cool to talk to you.